Is it live? Yes, we are. Good morning, everybody. What's up? Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week. Gigi, I see you just looking around all confused. We are live right now.
I know, it's so lady
that.
syndrome. Oh, look, my light died. I don't even know if I'm live on Insta.
You have to click go.
Huh?
By the way, but you have to click go. Go live.
I don't know. Are you live on Instagram? Did you?
Now I am. Just went live on Instagram. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. We are here in the house. Thank you for tuning in. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can you believe we made it to the end of the week?
Oh my God. Oh, so now the week is over. It was an interesting week. Weather is not on our side.
Yeah, man. What's up with this weather?
My central air, because it makes noise.
No, because right now we're jamming out to the song called Daydreams. Hey, it's
God.
Friday.
Let me just lower my thing. All right. So today is a no makeup day, which is, I don't care. Is it bad that I don't care anymore? Like, do I have, like, I don't know.
I think everybody gets to that point. At some point, you just don't give a rat's
I don't look like I'm falling apart, so it's not like I necessarily need makeup.
Oh my God.
Maybe in 10 years, when I'm like close to 70. Oh.
What?
Yeah, in 10 years, I'll be close to 70.
God, can we keep this? Can we keep it light?
This is light, but it's the fact. All right. You know what? Today we're talking about fact versus fiction. And we're coming out. I'm coming out. We're coming out, Ed and I, discussing this NAR Settlement thing. I'm drinking water because I need to hydrate at my age. I'm like an old dried up prune otherwise.
Well, okay. So you know what? I think we should all take this moment to hydrate right before we kick this off. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, do we still wait for people to come up on Facebook?
Everybody jumps on. Shout out to everybody jumping on Instagram. We got Faith Unlocks on Instagram that tuned in. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, good.
Appreciate the attention. But for those of you who don't know what is going on in the real estate world, we're gonna do two things today. All right, these points that we're gonna mention are gonna be beneficial both to agents, okay, and buyers, particularly.
Buyers and sellers, because they're gonna need to know, like there is still a lot of confusion.
That's true. Matter of fact, as you brought that up, it just reminded me of a story that I went through with another seller. But I guess what occurs is there isn't a lot of clarification, I guess, when the commission is being discussed. Everyone shies away from it. I think I'm going to create a meme about it. But everyone shies away from it. You shouldn't shy away from it. And I think if you are shying away from that discussion, is because you really don't know what you are offering.
That's the point. If you don't know what you are worth as a real estate agent, start working on it or get out the way. And sorry to say
I think that. No, but it's not even that. It's just that at the end of the day, we're trying to be beneficial. We're trying to be helpful, right? We want our clients to look at us as advisors. So what we want to do is make sure we're taking care of them and doing our due diligence to assist them through that process. Okay, if you don't know about what's going on, as far as Gigi said, to get out of the way, it's because it's a disservice. You know what I mean?
If you're not going to be able to serve the consumer, serve the public, I'm not saying we're public servant, but to work with, this is an industry of service. So first and foremost, yes, service. Secondary, sure, money can be great. Yes, there is no shame into this. Okay, we're still in America, okay? We still embrace capitalistic ventures until now. Or, I hope. It's still free speech somewhat. It's still...
Until further notice.
Until further notice. And it's still free market until further notice, right? So this being said, I want to debunk. We have the State of the Union address where our current head of state had made a couple of statements that were completely inaccurate, which
Oh my
NAR,
God, we should
because
show
we are
that video.
huh?
You should show that video.
I'm not set up to show that video. I don't even have
No?
it on my
Oh,
computer.
damn.
It
All right,
doesn't
you know what?
matter. It's a
Go
small
ahead.
snippet where the president was stating that for the first time in America, commission are going to be negotiable.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that idea from, but then again, there's a lot of ideas that he has come up with that a lot of the people don't agree with.
Right. And the other inaccuracy is that basically he's telling brokers that they're going to have to lower the commissions. That's also inaccurate since commission are negotiable. And since we're in a free market, as long as it's disclosed, and this is the
Correct.
subject of this settlement and this class action lawsuit, you can pretty much negotiate anything. If somebody's going to agree to pay you $1 gazillion,
Mm-hmm.
let them pay you $1 gazillion. I am not going to make actual dollar statements. Again, I want to protect us as far as all those antitrust laws. So we're not going to discuss anything with actual figures, and we'll keep stuff in general, right? Because I want you and I did a little bit of law school when I was in college, and I want you and I to be protected since we're talking to the public.
100%.
Right, so we're not going to give example with exact dollar figures.
No, I don't want to give any exact dollar figures. But the thing is this is just my opinion, right? And I want to voice this to the public because this is exactly how it works in retail, and a lot of us don't even realize it, right? Recently, you've been going to the store, you check something out, you go to pick out a shirt, pair of pants, dress, whatever the case is, new outfit for a weekend getaway, right? You check out the store, it's saying things are up to 70, 80% off, right?
Of what?
Exactly.
Currently advertised price.
Exactly, right? So what happens? Psychologically, this is what's occurring. Psychologically, you think to yourself, right? Hey, 70% off. No, it said up to 70% off. So they already hooked you. You're already hooked. You come in, you start looking through the stuff, you find something, and you see that it's not 70, but maybe it's 50% off. And you see the original price, and it's a $300 shirt. And now you're going to pay 50% of that, which is $150, right? And you think you got a great deal. Guess what? That is probably, in my opinion, if you're smart, is what's going to occur in exactly the real estate market as well. Because, hold on a second, I think that people may voice, if you start to realize the value that you present, if you start to notice what you're bringing to the table, and if you're effective in your efforts, you're effective in your service, right? What's going to occur is, hey, I used to charge X, which could potentially be higher than whatever somebody might be charging at this current time, right? I'm going to charge you. I usually charge X for my service, but you know what? Because we're having a great conversation, because I think we can make this happen, I really want to help you. I really want to help you to get to sell that property. I'm going to charge you this. And this price, whatever it may be, may potentially be higher than what they used to charge before this settlement finally
that could
goes
be those type of
agents.
But then again, all right, so let's talk about the premises of that NAR settlement. We're talking about NAR, National Association of Realtors. This won't affect everybody. It's going to affect National Association of Realtor members, which Ed and I are, because we belong to Long Island Board of Realtor.
Correct.
It's going to affect non-NAR members that elect to opt in the agreed settlement that is going to take effect most likely on August 17. Most likely, could still change. And to me, it's going to be given. I mean, there is several ways. To me, I don't think it's going to change a lot. The only thing that it will change is how we actually display the compensation on MLS. Everything has to be removed out of MLS. Correct. Nobody is going to discuss compensation on MLS. Those are going to be conversations between the listing agent and their buyer and the buyer's agent.
You know what this sounds like? It's like they would rather your discussion of compensation not happen on paper. They'd rather it happen in the back end of MLS, so that way you guys take care of that on your own time. And it's like, we're just here as an advertising platform to advertise properties for sale.
So there is this. So MLS has been advocating and saying we can, share and advertise the property. We have other tools on MLS that are also helping the agents, because they also, we need to justify all the fees that we're paying to it.
Correct.
It's MLS, but it's also like Board of Realtor. MLS is the vehicle to display listings and conduct our business. But on top of this is the Board of Realtor, which gives you, representation in your government, hopefully, helps you with it's like a workers' union. That's what your Board of Realtor is. And it should be this way. And there is nothing wrong in having a union to represent your rights as a professional, to me. All right. And I think
I agree.
What people need to understand, an agent is nobody is going to try to cheat anyone.
You shouldn't be trying to do that to begin with.
First of all, if you're a NAR member, you're going to have a lot of things that are going to be written. We're going to have new forms. We're going to have a lot of agreements that are going to be modified. The fact is, your compensation as a buyer agent and seller agent is still going to be negotiable. Prior to having even this whole NAR lawsuit, I'm mainly a listing agent, and I would gladly cooperate with other buyers agents, and I would offer a certain compensation on MLS, usually very, very fair. Okay. Correct. Where I would, in the best condition, I would share probably 50-50. I've done it where I shared more that, for the buyer's agent and myself to speed up the process in the sale. That was in the best interest of the seller. I'm not saying everybody has to do this, but I also seen like agents that, knowing they were offered this compensation, would still negotiate additional compensation for them. And if the price, terms, and conditions were favorable to the seller, the seller agreed for extra compensation to that buyer agent, or that buyer, the agent that worked with the buyer. And what? I could have, I had no objection, because in the end, I want repeat business from those sellers. And it's like, you cannot always think, oh, darn, this buyer's agent is making a lot more money than I do. And you know what? A lot of the times, yes, if they work smartly, if it's fully disclosed, if the buyer understands what's going on, if it's not going to hurt their pocket and they can afford it, why not? And on the other hand, if now that this compensation is going to be taken out of MLS, we're still going to have, as a listing agent, a conversation with the sellers discussing commission, and we should be smart enough to still propose that part of our commission is going to go to the cooperating agent that represents the buyer, right?
Yes.
Because I believe, to me, especially in this environment of very high rate and tough affordability, as an agent, and I'm going to use words you may not like me, you're going to be an idiot if you're going to, number one, not offer any compensation as a listing agent, to the buyer's agent, because you're the listing agent, and let them go fend for themselves. Buyers are already having a tough time meeting those DTI limits. Buyers are scraping every dollars to go and buy those properties. Yeah. Do you think they can afford an extra such and X and X percent to pay your commission? If the buyer agent commission, if that seller agent doesn't want to share, that is, if you need to think, first of all, to me, it's a violation of your duty to your seller if you're actually closing off a section of the market and not allowing buyers to even purchase your property. I think those agents those are the guys that should be sued.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? You have to make sure that everything, it's already hard enough. So make sure like your seller is going to sell. If in this environment of lack of inventory, high prices, higher interest rate, low affordability, the seller should understand that they'll be making beaucoup money. They'll be
100%.
Making, on selling the house. It's a great environment to be a seller. Why don't you ease off and help buyer coming in and incentivize them a little bit? You're not going to lose anything.
I mean, at the end of the day, right? Like you just said, incentivize. We've done that where we're making offers. We're asking for seller's concessions, right? The buyer wants closing costs. I mean, look, if you're more flexible, right, on the selling end, if you're more flexible and willing to be a little more open, I don't see why you wouldn't walk away happy.
Talking about seller's concession, and I don't want to spend an hour on this. Freddie Mac and let me make sure I get the right.
Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate it.
Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae agreed to not put any restrictions or limit on. I'm not saying limit. They will. I'm gonna go with the right wording. I don't want to do.
What are you referring to?
Yes. So, for instance, on VA loans, you cannot. The VA loan doesn't allow you to pay for a buyer's agent. Those things are going to have to change. So they're going to have to. VA is going to have to make VA loans. VA program, VA backed up loans are going to have to make some changes. So things like that could be allowed, or concessions could be allowed, and by sellers and so on and so forth. Same thing. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are becoming a little bit more flexible when it's going to come to concessions and incentives from sellers. Okay. So there is nothing there is nothing official, because we're going to have to wait until August. Okay. On April 16, 2024, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac declared that fee or costs traditionally covered by the property sellers are per local customs are exempt from financing concession restrictions. This implied that sellers can provide financing concession for the borrower's closing expenses, and any compensation offered to the buyer's agent commission will not be restricted. That's an interesting statement. And this is as of a month ago. So the banks are going to make it easier for the seller side to give some concessions to the buyer, and this is in the right direction.
Yeah.
Right.
I think so. And then ultimately, this is why I mentioned buyers too, was because I'm noticing this occurring, which I'm super happy for you guys, right? Because I'm noticing that you guys are not only out there, and again, anybody can research Zillow, but the fact that some of you young folks are actually looking to hire or interview agents to represent you through the process of purchasing, I commend you for that. Because instead of going to the listing agent, and again, everybody has this misconception that, if I go directly,
the listing agent represents the seller, and they don't,
100%.
Even though they have to be honest with you and give full disclosures of what they can disclose, they're still working for the seller. So they're not working in your best interest, Mr. and Mrs. Buyers.
They're never working in your best interest. Sellers. Yeah, they're working. I'll tell you right now. They're working in the best interest for not only their sellers, but then at the end of the day, yes, because you come in, and if there's no one else representing you, they're able to also make the buyers commission on that. So because of that, they're going to make money on that. Stop looking out for their pockets and start looking out for yours. You're making a big investment. Let's
disclose here what's going to happen from August 17. They're going to get, they're not going to be able to get additional than what is explicitly agreed with their sellers. If the seller is agreeing that they're going to be dual agent, then they can enter into an additional agreement with the buyer.
So there's an agreement that you can sign on top of another agreement.
Right. And yes, of course, agreements can always be changes and prorated and modified as long as it's still agreed by both parties, is not open-ended, has a definition of date and notions in space and exactly what the terms are going to be. Same thing with the buyer's agent. Some buyer's agents are trying to say, oh my God, I'm going to be double dipping. I'm going to go and try to get some stuff from the listing agent and then get additional stuff from the buyer. No, because you're going to be entitled to just getting exactly what your buyer agreement is going to state. And that buyer agreement could be an agreement with buyer representation as an exclusive broker, as an exclusive buyer broker, buyer agreement as a non-exclusive, buyer agreement for that one showing of one property, buyer agreement for the day of showing within certain confine of a geographical area. Could be
there's an agreement. There's going to be an agreement for everything, but at the end of the day, to sum it all up, you have to be very clear and specific on what the agreements are going to be.
And you're not going to be able to go outside of that agreement.
Yeah. So Gigi, real quick, we got a couple of questions or statements from Joseph that came in over here. So he was asking about, are there any case studies on revenue from printing money, inflation, and interest? Is there a cost for holding money? So Joseph, if you could just clarify a little bit more on what you're referring to, because if you're
not printing money.
If you're referring to that
monopoly, yes.
If you're referring to that, that's a topic for another. We're not trying to get canceled out here.
This is not. We can't do this. Hold on. We're not printing money. Who is Joseph?
Santiago.
That Joseph.
As far as the printing money factor goes, but as far as cost for holding money, just some more clarification on that.
Are we talking about escrow money?
We don't hold. In the state of New York, we don't hold.
We as agents, we're not commingling with funds, so this is off the table. Yes.
The attorneys are the ones that hold the money
in separate escrow account. So we're not charging interest for anything. We're not taking deposit. We're in New York City. I can't speak for other brokers. We're not writing purchase contracts. We're not writing agreements. We're going to have everything we're going to use is going to be, because we are NAR members and MLS members, we're going to use the documentation and legal paperwork offered by our board. We're not going to go outside of that and try to be open to any litigations, if this is what you're asking.
Got it. And he also asked another question, which was, is there a systematical diagram to help illustrate the money supply? There probably is.
This is another, we're talking about.
That's going into I guess another.
This is not. I think you're in the wrong live, Joseph, because we're talking about buyer's agreement and compensation for the future NAR settlement as of August 17. There is no supply chain and supply and demand. I mean, this is supply of housing. There is nothing manufactured outside of if you're a builder yourself, but we're just selling the service of procuring housing for basically for the public and representing sellers or buyers. That's all. We're just providing services. Thank you.
I hope that answered the questions. But Joseph, appreciate you tuning in, man, and asking. So I like that. I like the comments coming in.
That's good. That's good. I mean, we can have an outside of non-real estate unwrap. One day we could do, live, like not making, we could have different topics and stuff. I anything that has to do with a lot of legality involved and liability. I think.
Yeah, I think as we're getting closer, just to keep in mind with this whole settlement, as we get closer, we're going to get more information. As we get more information, we'll gladly be here to, I guess, make some clarifications to it.
Yeah.
But what were you saying, Gigi?
No, I just wanted to make sure like the agents understand that as of August 17, no mention of offer of compensation will be noted on any MLSs. You can do it on your website if you want, but you're not going to be able to do it through MLS. The only thing you may be able to have is that little yes or no check mark on seller concession, yes or no, but that's it. That's going to be, that's to the extent of that.
Yeah. And to all the buyer's agents out there who are practicing buyer's agency, get this, okay? Because again, we had this conversation with the buyer. She had said that they were just entering the market. They were going to start interviewing different agents to represent them. And I said, and I commended her for that. I said, good, you should do that. I said, as a matter of fact, as you do that, make sure that you ask them if they're buyer certified, if they're buyer representative certified, okay? Because if they're not, then I think that maybe that's an agent you shouldn't be working with because they're not going to represent you accordingly. But if they are, then that's somebody you should. So I planted that seed. So for those of you out there, I think it's about time to get certified or get some of these certifications under your belt, because that is going to make you stand out moving forward, and you're going to get the up-to-date information on probably the NAR settlement and how to conduct yourself as an agent in the field.
So for this reason, NAR is offering the accredited buyer representation certification.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
You can do it by Zoom, on a regularly scheduled Zoom, or you can, but you have to be a NAR member. If you don't belong to NAR, you would have to pay $295 to get that certification. And you can access that through NISAR as well, through LIBOR. You're going to have Zoom classes, or you can take it online at your leisure. All right. For this, until the end of the year, I think they're offering that for free to the NAR members. I would highly recommend taking it. We also
find the link
make sure that you, as all those real estate agents, part of our Long Island Board of Realtor, please do take your fair housing class that is due at the end of December, and that is the Fair Haven anti-discrimination simulation that is offered by NAR. You know about that, Ed? Did you do
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time? The
Fair Haven simulation?
No.
All right. So check on your MLS. I think they have a little bit of a note on this. We have until December, at the end of December, to meet those fair housing requirements.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so
with that
said, if you guys also need some help into voicing out and understanding what your value proposition is, working as a realtor to buyers, NAR has this nice PDF called 179 Ways why hiring a realtor, why you should hire a realtor. And they have another one that came out a few months ago called 105 More Ways. Okay. I don't know if I should put it in. You can find it. You can find it on the NAR website. It's very easy.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for it right now, because I know I'm trying to find the link.
It's a PDF. I don't want to go and lose. Gigi, do you think Ed would consider money supply? Okay. I guess, Joseph, you're going to have to contact Ed at NYC_homes_with_Ed. And
the other scores are just separated, but you can reach out to me on Instagram. You could also reach out to, Instagram more than Facebook. I stream everything from Instagram.
You know why Joseph is asking me if you would? Because he probably thinks like Gigi, she's hard ass, she's hardcore, she's going to say no. So
once you peel back a couple of those layers, Joseph, don't worry. She's kind, yo. She's cool.
It has nothing to do with kindness. Unfortunately, I suffer from being extremely direct. We all know that, right? And as I get older, I have less and less filters. It's just amazing.
She has direct in your face Titus.
Yes. So I just want to make sure that everybody will be clear that you're going to have to disclose your relationship with the buyers. So listing agent, you're going to have to disclose how you're going to work with those sellers. Are you going to, you're going to agree to a commission, and you're going to also state whether or not you're going to want to cooperate with other brokers as well, you know. And buyer's agent, you are going to, when you actually, buyer's agent, let's say you're working, let me give you the example. When you're going to be working on an open house for another agent in your office and the buyer comes in, you're not going to need an agreement because you are actually representing the seller in that instance.
Correct.
Okay?
If you're what you should do is you should have a partner there with you to then work with those buyers that come in directly, because that would be leads, and then they can work.
Oh no, you can sit down after once you start following up.
If they want to buy that house, though, I'm saying
outside of that house, you can you know, like for whatever reason. I mean, if you're gonna secure a buyer with at that open house, I hope you would have negotiated with the listing agent of what your conversation would be.
Now the contract got to get signed.
Well, that, or you know, if it's in between professional, no, there are no dictates on this. I would advise it to have it in writing. You know, 100%. But then again, if you decide to take that buyer on a showing, that you're gonna have to have an agreement. Okay, Zillow calls it a tour agreement. Is this going to be a legal document? I don't think so. It's not gonna, because Zillow is also a broker, by the way. So whatever documents they're coming out with right now, I want to see until after August 17 what they're gonna.
We're gonna have to see as we get closer to the dates or whatnot. But cool, man. We're not gonna drag this any longer because it's amazingly interesting conversation to have, I'm sure.
Make sure, you guys are. I mean, I know a lot of the people that are watching us are really like professionals, and they try to do their best when it comes to representing the public out there and their professional standards. So keep on doing it. Keep on disclosing everything. Do not leave any gray areas. Know your worth, and you should be good. Okay, and work on sharpening your knives. Work on all the different skills that you need to acquire if you're a brand new agent. You know, and that's why we're having those weekly conversations. You know.
Yes. Don't go out there in the field. Don't go out in the field and act like scavengers. Okay.
No.
Let's work together on this. All right. Let's make a deal.
It is still a fantastic profession, you know.
New catchphrase. Let's make a deal.
Yes, let's make a deal.
In the video.
All right.
All right then, Gigi.
Have a great weekend, Ed. I know I'm not doing the open house, but I have an open house scheduled.
No, I got two.
I'm going to the reptile show tomorrow in Union Day.
Yo, send me the details. I've been trying to convince Priscilla to get a chameleon, but we'll see what's up. Send me the details. So
I'll send you the link. It's at next to Nassau Coliseum, I think. And you know, it's gonna be great. It opens at 9:00 until 4. I'm gonna be there about mid-morning with my my two daughters and their husbands. It's gonna be fun. You know.
Yep. Joseph, great conversation, man. We could spend a lot of time on that, but there are a couple of, you'd have to know exactly what areas you're gonna be looking into. So if we're looking at broad, we gotta kind of find that down. But I have some knowledge, not a lot of knowledge of it, but reach out to me on Instagram, man. We'll definitely carry on this conversation. Gigi, it's always a pleasure running these Friday lives with you. I hope we gave you guys some information. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Joseph, you're today's MVP, brother. Thank you for the most valuable posts. You were just posting away like a little poster post.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time. All right.
Hasta la vista, baby.